Alright, hey everybody. This is going to be a segmented Skyrim 80% tutorial. This first video is just an introduction, and we'll go over the settings that you have to make and making your first save. After that, there's going to be a few videos on the different glitches that you're going to do, and then there's going to be the 80% route split up into many videos. So the first thing you want to do is just open the game. This will create INI files that you're going to want to edit. If you go to speedrun.com/Skyrim, under guides, there is allowed INI edits. This lists out all of the different things that you can change. There's some that you're going to want to change, like the show tutorials, the mouse acceleration, maybe the field of view, are all very useful things. So to find this, you go to My Documents, My Games, Skyrim, and there's the two files, skyrim.ini and skyrimprefs. You can open these up. Just refer to this guide here for anything you want to change. If the section or the variable doesn't exist in here, you can just add it in. It's fine. Just add it in either under the right section, or if you're creating the section, then just anywhere. So there's a few things that are pretty useful to edit. You're not allowed to edit anything that isn't listed here. And then after that, you can run the launcher again. You want to make sure all of your DLC is disabled. It makes the loads faster, and it also affects some of the glitches. And then for options, you can, for the most part, set whatever you want. I like to have it on medium rather than high or ultra, just to make the loads a little bit faster, which doesn't matter since they're counted out, but it just is nicer to play. And the only thing that really matters for any of these settings is your actor fade should be maximum, which will help with Odoving strats. And your item fade will be minimum, which seems to affect one of the clips that you're going to be doing. Everything else you can just set to whatever. And then when you start up the game, just open up, either start a new game or open up a save, and you'll be able to edit the in-game settings. So for gameplay, you don't want to use the 360 controller. You want difficulty on easiest, which is novice. And the autosaves, when you're learning, and for your first few runs, you should probably turn them on. They cost like a very, very small amount of time to have on, so I have them off. It's like frames, it doesn't really matter, so you should probably just leave them on for when you're trying stuff out. For display, this is mostly the same as the launcher, except you want the subtitles to be on, because that will help with the console. And audio, you can set to whatever you want. There's not really any audio cues. For controls, there's a few things you want to move to make sure they're close and easy to access. Quick save and quick load, you want to be able to reach with one hand, so I have them on F1, F2. You can put them on like Q or E or something like that if you want. For your quick inventory, magic, and map, you want to be very close. Stats doesn't really matter, except for other categories you might want it. And weight should be reachable. Journal I still have on J, even though I use it, because it's really close to the M key, which we'll be using. And toggle always run, you want to just get out of here because you never use it. Your auto move, if you want to use it, you can put it close, or you can just hold W, it doesn't matter. And another thing is your toggle POV key and your favorites key are similar. This will actually open the favorites menu, but this one will actually favorite things in your inventory. It's a little bit strange that it does that, but that's just how this game works. And that's it for settings. Next, you want to set up your initial start save. I'm going to be uploading a high elf save to the to speedrun.com/Skyrim. Right now there's an orc save, but we don't actually use that anymore. So you'll be starting a new game, and eventually you'll get to Character creation. You might have this save. It automatically creates this save when you're going through stuff. When you're going through the intro. This is like right before character creation. So you need to sit here and wait. This is a good place to practice skipping dialogue with quick save and quick load. I'll get into that more later. So for a character race, what you're going to be using is a high elf. A character's speed is based on a character's height, and the height is based on what race you pick. High elf is the tallest and therefore the fastest. The second fastest is Orc, and Orc actually has an ability called Berserker's Rage, which makes the fights way faster and easier. But High Elf overall is faster for every category currently. Every other class sucks. Like, they're all really slow and not worth it at all. You can customize them however you want. You can make it female or whatever. Just a bunch of presets. Whatever you want. All that matters is the race. For certain races, the gender will actually affect the height as well, but for High Elf it doesn't matter. So there's an intro here that you have to sit through. It's like a couple minutes long. So you're going to be going to the block there, and your Alduin's going to come, and he's going to scare everybody. And what's his name? Hadvar is going to, or Rayloff. No, it's Rayloff. He's going to say a line, and then you're going to gain control. You're going to want to save either before he says the line at all, or after you've gained control. Because if you save during his line, then it'll skip the rest of his line, and he'll immediately start running towards that thing, and he can possibly block you. So I'll show you the two save spots once we get there. It's like as your camera's getting moved around and stuff, and then it'll eventually whip up like that, and that's when you gain control. One thing to note about the mouse sensitivity is you're going to spend most of it in the infinite sprint glitch, which gives you lower sensitivity. So it might seem really high right now, but it's going to be lower for when you're doing most of the stuff in the game. I don't know if skipping this actually is faster. So here, Alduin comes, scares everybody. Sorry, that was louder than I thought it would be. So here's where your camera goes all screwy. This is where you can make your save if you want. You can either just escape and hit save, or you can open the console and do save new one, or whatever. If it's multiple words, you have to put quotes. And then here's the line that he says. Here, High Elf, get up. And then as soon as your camera moves here, this is where you want to make your save if you're going to make it after the line. As soon as your camera moves up like that. So if you're using the auto splitter, if you load the first one, the auto splitter will start as soon as the aim goes up. If you're using the second type of save, the auto splitter will start as soon as it fades in and you have control. So either works. So that's your start save. That's pretty much everything you need to know. So one thing you may notice is that everybody is talking in Spanish, but my UI is still in English. This is something that only saves like 8 seconds. And it's a little annoying to do, so if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. It's fine. It doesn't save much time. But if you want to do it, normally in Steam, if you look at Skyrim here, you can go to Properties. You can pick your language here, But if you switch it to Spanish here, it'll actually change all of your UI and everything to Spanish, which if you don't speak Spanish is really bad for learning. So what you can do instead is in the resources section here, there's a voices file. This is a Skyrim-voices.bsa. You can download this and put it in your Steam directory, which is probably Program Files, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and Skyrim. If you go into your data file, you'll see there's all the different BSA files. This one will overwrite Skyrim-voices.bsa. And there might also be a voices extra. This is just Esbern's dialogue, and if you have it in there, then he will be speaking English while everybody else will be speaking Spanish. It doesn't make any difference for the time, but if you delete it, then he'll switch to Spanish, so it'll actually fit in. And I kind of like Spanish Esbern better, so I have it deleted. So that's all the setup for your thing, for your runs. Once you set all of this up, you'll never have to do it again. You can just start from the save and go. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to me or reach out to any of the runners. They're all very friendly. As you see, there's actually a decently large community that runs this now. And that's it. All the next following tutorial videos will be on the glitches, and then after that will be the any% route. Thanks for watching.